Hi everybody, Steve Griffiths here, developer of the MTPredictor software program. In this video I'd like to take a look at the US E-minis and how they unfolded yesterday, which was Wednesday the 2nd of May. In this video I'll be going through some of the standard and automatic trade setups as well as some of the advanced techniques we use on the higher time frame as well. Let's start by looking at a 3-minute chart of the E-mini, the ES. You can see we had a couple of automatic setups here. The first was an automatic DP sell. The STF was black, therefore the trend was flat, therefore that was perfectly okay to take. The market came down into a buy setup here, so you'd been stopping and reversing to then come out with a small profit here. The reason we had a history triangle here is because we had a double bottom. So if you look at this in a bit more detail, first trade setup would have been stopping and reversing, oops, if I can grab that, about there for a 1.4R. Then if I do the analysis on this, you can see you would have been out on close there at about 0.7R if I take this down to about there, 0.7R. So it would have been about a plus 2R day on the ES yesterday using the standard and automatic trade setups. YM, there were no setups at all. On the NQ, the only trade setups were here. Now this confuses people sometimes, is that you can have a history triangle and then an automatic setup and people think that that's two separate trades, but it isn't necessarily. This can happen when you get a double top like this. So if I put the analysis on this first history triangle here, you can see that when we came to this setup here, the high was 27.28, and you can see the stop trigger was at 28.25, so it was never taken out. So that would have actually been one short trade. The market did get to about plus 2.3R profit, so at the very least you'd have had your stop at break even, if not a small profit. Then the Russell Index again had the same TS4 setup here, so you would not have taken that because you would have been in the one on the NQ. Also had a TS1 buy setup here. Again, STF is black, so it's alright to take for a small profit at the end. But the trade setup I'd like to look at is this DP buy here. Now for standard traders, the STF colour guides the higher time frame. So here you'd be looking to buy when the STF is red. So for standard traders that would be against an otherwise downtrend. But this is where for the advanced traders, and this is where I want to shift gear slightly, and this is what we teach in our trading webinars, is how to move from the standard trade guidelines which you do when you first come into MTPredictor to go to more advanced techniques. And for this we look at the higher time frame and then look at some leading indicators, in particular the decision points. So let's go through the markets on the higher time frame and show you what I mean. Here's my analysis from yesterday, and as you can see these decision point levels not only caught, if I put the session breaks on, you can see where we are, not only caught the high of the day on Monday absolutely beautifully, but also the low of the day yesterday. If I just clear the chart off, just want to show you how these are on the chart before the market even gets there. So at this point in time we place a DP off this high, simply right mouse click decision point. There it is on the chart before the market even opens. As you see, the market then went up, tagged that beautifully, started to come down. So now we use this low decision point, or this point here, to then get our decision point on the chart again before the market even opened. Again, this was even before yesterday opened. And can you see how in advance this gave us a lovely support zone that actually nailed the very low of the day for us yesterday. On the ES actually made a double bottom here. If I just put a low tag on there, you can see it actually made a double bottom. Didn't quite reach our DP support zone. The YM was sort of in the middle of nowhere, so it wasn't a clear picture. However, the one that I like the look of was the Russell Index, and this was a similar picture to the NQ in that here was our decision point. Remember, this would have been on our chart before the market even opened yesterday, and as you can see the market came down and was in this decision point low before it rallied beautifully. So the question being is here is when you have the market at a 15-minute decision point support, that then allows you when you have trade setups on the shorter time frame, in other words the 3-minute chart, like this DP buy here, you can override the STF color and actually go and take these trades. Remember, this is an advanced technique, but can you see how, because if I perhaps bring that chart over to here, so we have them side by side. So because, just going a bit here a bit, so there we go. We now see where we are now. Sorry about that. So the point being is that because, that's it, because you're at 15-minute support, you could actually take a 3-minute buy setup even though it's against the STF. In other words, you knew you were at large degree support at this time. So let's have a look at how this unfolded. Well, if I right mouse click and put the analysis on, in fact we'll just drag that across and make that a little bit smaller, you can see how that would have got you in a long trade that's actually off the very low of the day. We then have our correct position sizing that keeps our risk small and under control. At the first target there was a projected profit of plus 3.5R. However, when the market gets to the first target, which it did here, we then come down and look at our strength band. This is our grey band on our STF, and we now look to see whether this is what we call either strong or weak. If it's weak, it's less than the strength band. If it's strong, it's greater than the strength band. And if it's strong, like it is in this example, we then use our ATR stop to then trail our protective sell order, in this case because we're long. So at this point in time it's strong, therefore we swap to our ATR stop, therefore the market would have held you long up into, I'll just scroll forward a bit, up into this particular point here where you would have been stopped out for a lovely, so I'll just take this off here and bring this so we've got the full screen to work with. Let's go back to the Russell Index and scroll forward so we can see the whole day now. That's it. Give us a little bit of space on the right hand side here so we can see what's going on. So the point being is that the ATR stop would have held you long up into this point in time here. So that would have actually been a lovely trade with a plus 5.2R profit. Do you remember, position sizing gives us our profit not in absolute dollars but in terms of initial risk, and that's what's important. So yesterday was a very good day for particularly the advanced traders among you, with this DP buy here that actually nailed the very low of the day. It's very nice when in advance you can project levels like this that projected this support zone in advance, so you're prepared for this even before the market even opened. Then you got an automatic trade setup that actually allowed you to buy or be long off the very bar of the low of the day. That's always a nice position to be in as a day trader. So that's the summary yesterday. A very good day even for the standard trades, MTPredictor traders. As we can see here, we had a couple of small profits on the ES that would have actually made a profit, and as we've already seen on the NQ we'd have probably had a break-even trade. But it was the advanced trade setup on the Russell Index using the higher time frame to project the large degree support that allowed you to get this DP buy, and as such come out with a lovely plus 5.2R profit. So a very good day yesterday for traders on the US E-minis.